Is on your side tonight, digging deeper. It comes after viewers in the small mountain town of Batcave, North Carolina called, concerned about rumors being spread about trouble in their community. The town sits right on the edge of Henderson County. We put it on a map here for you. It's about 2.5 hours away from Charlotte. The town has become a lightning rod for tension and anti-government narratives in the aftermath of Helene. Investigative reporter Naomi Coles traveled there and talked to numerous residents, out-of-state volunteers, and local officials to set the record straight. It's a story you'll see only on WBTV, and it is tonight's cover story.
In the mountains, the experience is 10,000 times worse.
8 years, Laura's called Batcave home.
We're under 300 people in Batcave. We know each other.
The unincorporated community sits on the side of the mountains in Henderson County, along the Broad River and nearby creeks. Helene left it hard to recognize.
Looking around me, I didn't know where I was. It looked like an atomic bomb had gone off.
For days after September 27th, the area was completely inaccessible by car. I'm standing in the middle of a makeshift helicopter landing pad. It was here that a Black Hawk evacuated Laura and her friends from their Batcave community that first weekend Helene hit. Her community ripped apart is hard to accept. Division has made it much harder.
It's frustrating, the sensational stories that are clearly not true.
It took almost 3 days for me to hike down here to the station.
Not far down the road from Laura, Steve Freeman runs the Batcave Volunteer Fire Department.
We flew a lot of residents out on helicopter. We were able to get a large majority of the population out of here.
People have said that there were people here that weren't checked on.
That is not a true statement. We had people deployed all through basically 5 zones.
Batcave controversy began weeks ago on October 9th, when a reporter for conservative talk show WBT posted a viral X thread saying residents had told him they've not heard yet from FEMA or any state official. County management and several residents we spoke to dispute that narrative, beginning with the National Guard doing many of the evacuations after the storm. But they also acknowledge there's been hiccups.
We were hearing from FEMA right after the storm passed through. I mean, you're talking Saturday, Sunday, right after it happened. We were making contact with them. Then probably by the 1st of October, they really showed up in full force. If they didn't come knocking on your door the day after the storm happened, that's really not kind of what they do.
On the 5th, there was a deposit for $750 in my checking account. 2 days after that, they deposited another $3,500.
Is the process perfect? No. Online, do you get denials? Yes. Can you call and they'll help you? Yes.
But the reality is, what you've heard so far is one perspective. If you're watching from Batcave, maybe this hasn't been your experience. 4/10 of a mile down the road from the fire department, at the Batcave post office, local resident and business owner Mark Staten has his own hub set up.
We provide food, heaters, propane, gas, generators, chainsaws, 3 hot meals a day.
Volunteers sleep in these tents, and the hub stands on the land where his wife's antique shop once stood.
As you can tell, we've lost the building.
Here, the perception of what's happening in the community and who's been contacted and helped takes a different turn.
When they were cutting in the road, they found people that hadn't seen individuals in weeks.
Mark is talking about West Virginia miners who came in and cut an access route east, heading toward Chimney Rock.
They have the 101st Airborne down there. We have volunteers.
The state DOT would point out here, they've worked around the clock to restore this core bridge to Batcave, and they're actively working to move the Broad River back to its normal bed so they can restore the critical Chimney Rock Road.
DOT was phenomenal how fast they got it to where we could get in and out.
Do you feel like the road should have been started sooner than the bridge?
I don't understand why it couldn't have been done at the same time.
It was into this environment that David Phillips from Maine came later in October with an eye to help.
It literally ripped my heart out, and I felt like I couldn't just sit here and do nothing.
He chronicled his travels to North Carolina on TikTok,
So something weird just happened.
racking up hundreds of thousands of views with videos confronting FEMA workers and sharing anti-government narratives.
It seems like the only people that were really there to help just arrived that day, and this is like weeks and weeks in.
Folks online cheered him on as he connected with Mark's team.
I think Dave had a good heart.
But tensions rose, and David told his viewers the sheriff's office forced him out after a little over a week. His videos about it online prompted concerned viewers to ask us to check what was going on.
I left the very moment that I realized that my team had been compromised and that they bent their knee to intimidation tactics.
After going home to Maine, David posted an apology video for some of his statements. Mark told us he asked David, and later another volunteer, to leave for internal reasons.
The sheriff and his deputies have been awesome. We couldn't ask for anything more.
At the end of the day, the hub here and the fire department up the road probably won't see eye to eye on who's been helped and who has not.
We feel like we're just in the land of the lost sometimes.
What is true, everyone in Batcave had a different but deeply traumatic experience that's left them cut off from communication and the subject of a lot of online rumors.
We've had people coming in from all over the country down here, as far as just a few days ago, coming down to try to save people and all that. So the word just isn't getting out. We're checking on them daily and still have been. And I think it's a lot of lack of communication, but not really on anybody's part.
I think if I could bring a point of agreement to everyone, people who think there's enough support, people who don't, it's that they all agree the misinformation and the online stuff needs to stop. Is that a fair point of agreement?
Absolutely. And if something happened in your world, I wouldn't show up and be photographing it and putting it online so that I could get more likes.
Reporting in Batcave, Naomi Coles, WBTV, on your side.
Just some eye-opening reporting.